So another day, another hotel. So I'm now in Luxembourg, and the reason that I'm in Luxembourg is because I was very fortunate today to speak at the International Animal Rights Conference. And it's just a brilliant event. And I'm really sad that I only got to see the first day of it because it goes on for the next 3 or 4 days. And there are so many just amazing speakers and panel sessions, and to be honest, networking opportunities as well, that if it wasn't for me flying out to Berlin tomorrow, I would have a very enjoyable few days here and learn a lot as well. Interestingly, I'm staying in a hotel which is a little bit like a ship's cabin, which is possibly the only mode of transport I've not taken over the last few days. But let me just show you this. So in the corner of my room, I've got a little curtain here. There we go, that little curtain. And behind that curtain is the shower. So the shower's not in a separate room, it's just in the corner. That's obviously how they like to do things in Luxembourg. I also, very disappointedly, I'm going to be a little bit rambly today because it's very late. I've only had about 5 hours sleep every single day for the last 5 or 6 days. So I'm going to be a little bit rambly today. But I also picked up what I thought were fig rolls today, which are the staple of many vegan diets. But disappointingly, when I got them open, it turns out they are the far less enticing fig biscuits, which was a little bit disappointing today. But at least I'm not going to go hungry. Pick those up from the local supermarket. So what did I do today? Well, I actually signed on to a workshop this morning, and it was a 4-hour workshop. And that's quite a long session to sign up for. But it was with Melanie Joy, and Melanie is Sebastian Joy's wife, and Sebastian is the founder of ProVeg, the co-founder perhaps, and is also the person who's running the Kickstarting For Good incubator. And she was doing a session on communication and interpersonal skills, and it was just an excellent workshop. Melanie Joy is a fantastic speaker. I'd really advise going to take a look at her books, her website, the various training that she does. And I took about 1,500 words worth of notes during those 4-hour sessions. And far too many takeaways for me to actually tell you now. I might do a podcast on it though, just with some of the highlights, because there's some really good stuff to learn. Like I said, I'm going to be a bit rambly today. But one thing I took away was this idea of what a debate is. And that's really important when you're in our sector, because we are trying to change hearts and minds. But Melanie was explaining how the concept of a debate, it's actually quite counterproductive sometimes, because if you invite somebody into a debate with you, what you're actually inviting them to do is to try and win an argument, win at all costs. And that's not really what we should be trying to do when we're communicating. It shouldn't be about winning or losing. It should be about mutual understanding. But if you ask somebody to come into a debate with you, the goal is not to reach an understanding, but to make the other person lose. And that's not really a great place to be starting out. If you're trying to win somebody over, you're trying to make them feel safe, you're trying to get them to see your viewpoint. If the whole goal is for them to lose and for you to win, that's not a great way to start a conversation with somebody. So Melanie gave some really good frameworks for other ways to approach those sort of conversations where the goal was a mutual understanding of each other's viewpoints. So that was just really worthwhile doing this morning. And I think the kind of mark of what a great session was, what a great session it was it didn't feel like 4 hours. It absolutely flew by. It felt like it was maybe 45 minutes at the most. So that was an absolutely brilliant session. So yeah, do go check out Melanie Joy if you get a chance, because I think you'll find it extremely useful. What I actually wanted to do today, though, is with this being the last video diary which I will record before we get to the in-person incubator, is I want to go through the very last session, I told you I'm tired. The very last task that we were asked to do in the pre-program. And I actually got a little bit more information about this pre-program as well, because it seemed really full on. The amount of work we've done is actually probably the amount of work I thought we'd do over the entire incubator, and especially the depth we've gone into with the research and pulling our ideas together and our logic model and everything else that I've spoken about as well. And I was speaking to one of the organisers, and they said that this is something they've learned from running the incubator last year, that they didn't actually start this kind of work until they did the in-person part. And they found that it just wasn't long enough. They were doing the incubator and people hadn't got to the point where they were ready to launch and they were ready to actually, scale up the organisation or the business of the idea. So what they wanted to do this year was really get as much work done before the in-person part. So that's why it's been so full on. That's why there's been so many in-depth tasks to do, so that when we land in Berlin tomorrow, we're kind of already well ahead of ourselves. We're ready to actually do the businesses that we're setting out to do. So I thought that was really interesting. So what I want to go over with you today is the last task that we've been set is to pull everything together that we've now done into a one-pager. So a one-page document that logically walks through what our idea is, what the problem is that we've identified, what the solution is to that problem, the impact we're going to make and how we're going to measure that, and looking at what kind of scope we need for funding and various things like that as well. So what I'd like to do, if you've got 5 minutes, is I'd like to just share with you the result of all that. So the result of the work that I've been doing over the last 4 weeks or so. And just read out my one pager to you. So it's going to take me a little bit of a while to read this out, but I think it'll be useful for you to see where I was when I first joined the incubator, where I could explain what Vegan Business Tribe is. We thought we knew what problems we were solving, but going through the exercises has actually resulted in me making this final document. So let me read it out to you. So the first part of it is the elevator pitch. And so it starts out: all of the cause areas have organisations which promote and support entrepreneurship as a way to move that cause forwards. We are creating that for vegan entrepreneurs. If somebody tells you that you are a vegan entrepreneur, however, then many will assume that you make food or drink. But a large number of vegans who start a business, perhaps even the majority, do so in non-food industries such as professional and personal services, travel, and the creative sectors. We are building an organisation that champions vegans to use their professional skill set to move a vegan cause forwards, leading them to build businesses that are not only successful financially, but also creates a tangible positive impact on veganism and animal justice. When you create any business, you create a platform. But when a vegan creates a business, you create a platform for change. Now, just that elevator pitch allows me to better sum up our vision and mission with Vegan Business Tribe. So that alone has been incredibly useful. But let me go on. So the next section is the problem that we've identified. So I've put: business can be one of the most effective forms of activism. It allows somebody to combine the time they spend making a living with also furthering the vegan cause. However, many vegans don't have the business knowledge or prior experience to scale a business to the point where it becomes financially sustainable or makes a tangible impact. This is compounded by a lack of business and entrepreneurial support that is aligned with the vegan mission. Many traditional business advisors actively encourage vegan entrepreneurs to drop the vegan side of their business to pursue more profitable activities. And I've heard that so many times from some of our Vegan Business Tribe members. The support that is targeted at the vegan sector is largely aimed at food companies, but many plant-based food founders are not vegan themselves, as aren't many experts in the plant-based food sector, meaning they have little motivation in building a business that promotes animal rights and a conversion to a vegan lifestyle. Many vegan entrepreneurs are also wary of combining their business skills with activism, fearing they may create negativity around their business, endanger their career, or alienate non-vegan customers, business partners, or staff. And I think that actually quite well rounds up what we're trying to do with Vegan Business Tribe. And a lot of that comes from the work I've been doing over the last few weeks and the research, just to pull all the threads together, all the things that I kind of already knew, but pull them all into one statement. We then go on to what our solution is to the problem that we've just identified. Okay, so the solution. Other cause areas have well-developed and well-funded entrepreneurial support. For example, LGBTQ+, Black, Christian, ex-prisoners and ex-military personnel. Often, the goal of these organisations is to foster and support entrepreneurship that creates a virtuous circle, in turn helping further the core goals of that cause. Many of these organisations attract the support and backing of large multinational companies, such as Amazon, Google and Visa, who don't always have an obvious connection to that cause, but likely have influential champions within the company that do. Our solution is to take the foundation that has already been established with Vegan Business Tribe and our Vegan Business Academy over the last 4 years and develop it into a comparable entrepreneur support organisation for the vegan and animal rights movement. Vegan Business Tribe will focus on empowering and improving the business skills of vegan entrepreneurs. It will also engage career successful, so that's career successful vegans, that's a new term that I'm using now. So it will also engage career successful vegans who are not engaged with the wider movement to use their success and their influence to generate more positive corporate support for veganism and animal rights. And this is quite an important point that I wanted to make. When you come to the Vegan Business Tribe website, we've got at the top, if you have a vegan business, you found your tribe. Now, one thing I've really had to get over on this incubator is that we're not really here to support vegan businesses. We're here to support vegans in business. So changing some of the terminology I'm using to instead talk about supporting vegan entrepreneurs, that kind of just clears that up. You know, we're not here to really help people grow plant-based food businesses who aren't vegan themselves. If a vegan's doing it, brilliant, we're 100% on your side. But my own view is there's plenty of support out there already for non-vegans. We're looking to help the vegans who are doing this for ethical reasons and actually wanting to move a vegan cause forwards with their company. So that's really important. I then go on to the final section I'll read out, which is impact and measurement. So I've put, we will measure our impact as an organisation by measuring the impact of our members. When somebody signs up with Vegan Business Tribe, they will be presented with a pathway to track the development of their company in terms of 1, growth and profitability, and 2, vegan ethics and the impact that they are making. The tracker will also give structured pathways for the business or entrepreneur to improve and develop each of these, with KPIs or key performance indicators tied to pillar content and courses in our Vegan Business Academy. So what we're actually saying is when someone signs up to Vegan Business Tribe, we're going to signpost them through the most relevant content and training to help, 1, scale up their business from a profitability and success point of view, and 2, scale up their business in terms of the impact that they're actually making. This way, we will actually see the impact we're having on our member businesses and entrepreneurs and the impact that they are creating in turn. We will also measure the impact we are having by convincing more career successful vegans, this is my term, I'm having that one, to become more engaged with the wider vegan and animal rights movement. This may include them becoming mentors for other vegan entrepreneurs, becoming champions for the cause within a non-vegan business to create commercial backing and support, or using their visibility as a successful business person to further promote veganism and animal rights. And again, that is something that is really important to what we're doing. This whole idea that we're not just helping the vegans develop businesses, we want to engage those people who are vegan professionally, but not perhaps running vegan businesses, but they are business people, and just use their skills and their influence to get them involved with what we're doing, get them involved with the sector, and especially that idea of getting them to come in and mentor our members and work with other vegan businesses. That's going to be a really important part of what we're going to try and set up as well. The document finishes by going into scope and funding, which I'm not quite sure, to be honest. That's one thing we haven't done yet, is work out that funding map of how much money would we actually be looking for if someone was going to put money into what we're doing at Vegan Business Tribe. One of the big things which I've been saying right since the start of this incubator, so I was talking about this in my application for the incubator, is I don't want Vegan Business Tribe to just be a funded organisation. As easy as that would make my life, I want Vegan Business Tribe to be a business and remain a business. I want it to be income generating. Eventually, I want it to be completely self-funding and even get to the point where we're generating extra money that we can give back to vegan businesses. I'd like to be able to offer grants. I'd like to be able to, use the extra money that we're making in Vegan Business Tribe to do more of the things like the events that we do, like Vegan Business Tribe Live, maybe take that over to North America, take it into Europe. There's so much going on in Africa and Asia and things like that. And, when we're actually generating money instead of just taking funding, there's so much more that we can do as a business. But that's one thing that I need to do is I know that Vegan Business Tribe becomes financially sustainable when we get to about 400 members, which is about double what we've got at the moment. And so my initial requirement for funding is going to be aimed at getting us to that point, and that means building a team. I will need somebody who is doing helping me on the content editing. I'll need more people coming to work on the IT to actually expand the website and the academy and the work that we're doing. Need help on admin. Need a lot of help on social. These are the things which have kind of fallen by the wayside a little with Lisa, my wife, standing back. So there's lots of things that we need funding to bring into Vegan Business Tribe to get us to that point where our membership makes us very financially sustainable and just standing on its own 2 feet. So I thought that was interesting. I thought it was worthwhile just sharing this kind of accumulation of everything that we've done on the incubator up to now. Tomorrow morning, I get on that plane, I head off to Berlin and start to meet people in real life. And that's going to be really interesting. I'm going to do what I can to keep this video diary really up to date. If I can do a session a day, I will. I might regret suggesting that when I see how much work we've got to do. But the truth is, I don't know how much work we've got to do. They're only releasing the schedule on the week. So for all I know, next week we might just be sat by the pool chatting. Be nice, wouldn't it? Anyway, it's very late. Again. I've got to get up very early. Again. So I'll see you on the next one.